Alrighty, let's get this started. I already masked out the horse a little bit, but here's the image. Here's the black background. Here's this. We're gonna work with the mask layer. We're gonna zoom in. And we're going to get a. I kind of want one of these. I don't want opacity. I don't really like working with opacity because it's iffy. Get a big enough brush for now. That's perfect. And we're just gonna go in at it. I use a Wacom tablet, so is it worth it? It's definitely worth it. Um, you don't have to get a big fancy one. Eventually, maybe I will, but I just have the medium sized one. That's, we're just going to go in, do this. We're gonna add the hair back in eventually, but not right now. What's cool about the Wacom tablet is I can, without going to control panel, is I can just resize my brush, zoom in, zoom out, rotate the image, cycle layers. I can also change these over here. You probably can see it. Hopefully you can. If not, I will show you in another video. But it helps, you know? And the reason I use a hard brush around the face is I want to keep it crisp. Crisp sounds like chicken nuggets, but not hungry, I swear. I just want to keep that, effect. This I'm honestly gonna get rid of, probably. Maybe, I don't know. That's part of his mane, but we'll see how that looks when we zoom out. That's another thing about me. I don't like zooming in and out unless it's something that I really have to work on, Um, but so for the the garland, people call it a wreath, but I'm going to use a soft brush, pressure size. Make it just a tad bit bigger. And we are going to go in, just make it softer, honestly. I don't want this outline. I have to get rid of things, so I'll get rid of things. It doesn't have to be perfect, excuse me. We're going to go in even with a smaller brush. And we're just going to go like this. Simple. Go in. Here we go. Now, of course, if you have to zoom in, zoom in. I can do it just from experience. Alright, let's see what else we got down here. I just don't want this outline. You see this outline right here? I don't want it. Bye, Felicia. Alright, that we'll get rid of in a hot moment. Get rid of the naked halter in a hot moment. I'm just gonna go down here, get rid of this outline. Over here. Perfecto. There we go. Looking pretty darn good. Fancy, fancy smangy. I still see outline. Very picky with it. Only reason we see the outline is because I masked it a little bit differently this time. Or I should say select my subject a little bit differently, not mask it, because what we're doing right now is masking. Which, by the way, not calling out anybody, but I see a lot of photographers not masking and just destroying their image, and I cry. Because what happens if you go like this? Okay, or like this. Okay? Like, if I wasn't on a mask right now, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. At all. But hey, everybody has their own techniques. You learn all differently, and I don't know, which is a good thing, because then you learn from multiple people, and I have learned from multiple people. Yeah, I never stay still. Alright, we're gonna zoom in. Just because it's just looking a little rough over here. Don't really like sharp points. I will treat my garland as a round. This is okay, as long as when we zoom out, it looks okay. Just going in. Probably going to remove this so it looks like that. By the way, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I will get another video up. Or, if it's something simple, I'll just answer. No gatekeeping around here. We all start somewhere. See this outline? New way. Now this, I'm okay with, because that kind of looks sprucey. This down here, no. I'm not. I'm not okay with it. That's okay. So we have that. I don't like this part though. That part I don't mind. But this part I don't really care for. Alright, let's see how this looks when we zoom out. I'm just seeing a blurb. I'll fix some of that over there. Over here is perfect. Alright, let's get rid of this. Just going to go like that. And I said we were going to fix this over here. It's a little wishy-washy. Like I said, I don't mind points. I don't mind creating curves. Because this garland, honestly, when you put it on the horse, it doesn't lay perfect. So, yeah, am I making it perfect right now? Yeah, but could I go in and do like that and make it okay? Yeah, of course. Whatever is going to make your image look okay in your mind and whatnot. You want to make sure you know your garland, especially for holidays, because let's say if I didn't know my garland, I wouldn't know that this right here is part of the image that I have to get rid of, which is okay. Because all we have to do then, depending on what it is we just go in and we do this. If I have to add more to the garland, I will just do cloning, painting it in, etc. Not sure if this part was, it is. Just to add it back in. You know? Again, not too perfect, but something. Just like these. This is going to be a smaller brush. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. A lot of little pieces because I just did that, but that is okay. We're just going to do that. I know I said I was going to leave this, but I want to zoom out and see how that looks because it looks sharp right now. It is sharp. Again, gotta know your garland. You gotta know the textures because that's a bow. That's a bow. That's a bow. Probably gonna get rid of that. That's a bow. That's a bow. Also want to know your background too. Whereas this barn, there was a lot of light coming in from the back, and I couldn't really block anything out, which is okay. So you have to see if the light is coming in through your garland, which we just did, and edit that out. And we're gonna get rid of this right here. Alright. So, what I do before I even start is I duplicate this layer and I make a copy one. And then when I do, I first check out with AI and see if it does it, okay. I normally don't type something in here, but sometimes you have to. Then it doesn't really know what you're removing. And I'll put stuff in there. So we wait for it. And that looks pretty darn good. We're actually going to zoom out. And we're actually going to redo that, even though it did it really good. But I don't like that one other piece. This piece right here I should have did as well. It's okay. So we're just going to closely select it without taking the pine cone out. We're going to go up here, type in remove. much better. See, like I say, it still adds stuff. That one is good. And then what I do is hit this, Control E, merges down. If you're on Microsoft, I don't know what it is on Mac. I don't like Mac, so I can't help you on that one. But, and then I have this layer in case anything goes wrong. So next, we are going to remove this line. We are just going to select it. If it takes off hairs, don't worry, we have a brush. So we're just going to type in again, remove, and see what it does. Not too bad. Like in 3. Let's zoom out. There was berries there. I'm liking 2. So we're gonna go with 2 and we're gonna do the same. So select them both. Control Shift D. Whoops. That is the wrong one. We don't want to merge visible yet. Control E. Control E is to merge it into one layer. And we will do that again in various situations because we still have to get rid of this. The news band. We're going to zoom in. We are going to use, actually, let's use the pen tool. And we're going to get rid of this. And again, go as closely as you can. I have a feeling it's going to get a little bit iffy over here, because it doesn't really have anything to work with. But you will see. There's other ways. I'm just showing you multiple ways that you can take something off. And you have that. You go up here, you make selection. I leave it on 3. Makes the selection. You could do, instead of doing AI, you could do, if it wants to behave. I'm not seeing it there. Okay. Well, you could. You could do that. However, I believe how to get off the selection is like that. It did that a pretty darn good job, though. That's another way you can remove stuff without AI. You can also use the spot healing brush or the clone, or you can paint it on. Now with the content aware, you don't really get options like the AI. It's only a one-time deal. So like for this, just because I see it, now is the client gonna see this? Probably not. But you know, we're perfectionists. We do it. Alright, that we just kind of have to edit out. So we're gonna go to mask. We're gonna take this. We are on a soft brush. We don't want that. We want a hard round. And we're gonna go right here. And we're gonna make it. May take a couple tries, honestly, and that's okay. And sometimes you'll get it right on the first try. To me, that looks wonky though. That means something's off. And I see what's off. Alright, so it may look like I'm doing the same motion all the time, but I'm really not. I really just cut that off. And we're gonna zoom out. That looks a little bit better. I'll actually zoom in because that right there is bothering me. I know to a naked eye you're not gonna see it, but I see lumps and bumps. And if the horse is fine and young, like this guy was, he ain't gonna have lumps and bumps. Only thing with my tablet, it doesn't like to move. It likes to be in one spot. So I don't blame it. Okie I'm gonna look down here. This is just the nose connecting to the garland. We still want the nose intact, so we are using a sharp brush, same as the nose, the head. That's really it. Let's see how that looks. Mucho gusto. Maybe a little too sharp, but you can always play around with it. I can also always do this too. Because that's probably what was missing. Yes. That's much better. Because then we'll do the eyes and whatnot. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so next I'm gonna do is the eyes. Kind of want them both. I'm gonna replace that eye because I didn't do it right. Which is okay. Let's see here. And we are going to go like this. It's not perfect. Although I want that eyelash just in case. Control C, which is Control Copy, and Photoshop Pro. Make new layer. Always a new layer. Control V. Remove it. And we are going to lower the opacity so I can see where it's at. Alright, now we're going to get rid of the other stuff. So what we're going to do is make a mask. Gonna label this eye. Replace. We're gonna go here, make it black. We want a soft, and we're just gonna remove. So it's simple. We're on the wrong layer. Oh, work. There we go. much better. Alright, we're gonna get rid of these. Let's see if there's anything else on here. There is 1 at 100. And we will fix the eyelash too. So again, I'm gonna select Control E. Always check your layers. Because sometimes I'll do some stupid stuff and like this. Don't even know how it went onto there. Which is okay. It happens. Okay. So, now that we have eyes, we are going to get the Gooby out. We're going to get rid of this crust. And again, we are going to duplicate this. Duplicating is Control J. Again, Microsoft. I don't know Mac controls. Let's see. The best way I'm going to try first is this way and see how it goes. Doesn't have to be perfect. I actually didn't even realize that this horse had a crusty eye until now. He is older, but not old, so it's just surprising to me. Alright, this catch light is bothering me, so what we're going to do is we're going to clone. And we're just going to do this. It's gonna look scary first before it gets better. Much better. Not too worried about that. Let's look at this one. That one's pretty good. Alright, so we are going to do the eye. So, that's a little bit different. A lot of people struggle with it, but once you have a good set, you know what to do. So first layer we're gonna do is we're gonna darken. We're gonna go here, opacity down to like 20, give or take. I might do a little bit darker just because I have to rebuild it back. And we're gonna select the color that I just erased because I didn't like the catch light. That's okay. It happens. Alright, we have that. We're gonna want soft. I want hard. You'll see why. Make this. Just gonna build it back up. To get the color picker like that, it's ALT. Again, Microsoft. Terrible, but not exactly what I'm going for. So what I'm going to see, you guys are in a very rare edit because normally I don't do this, but I didn't like that catch light at all. It was very ghosty. So we're gonna build this eye again. If I were to zoom out, it's gonna look like a zombie eye. Okay, that I'm totally okay with. So we're gonna go back in here, we're gonna hit darken. We are going to go here and we have it just like that. And we're just gonna go in, make it darker in the middle. You know? Yes, I just did switch it to black. That is because I want a bigger pupil in the middle than what it was showing me. That looks alright. If we have to change it, that's okay. We will just redo it. Next layer is going to be screen. 17-ish. And we're going to pick a color. Since I redid the eye, I'm going to have to pick the color from out here. Which is okay, which is what I do. So I pick a dark enough color. I try to stay in the orange hues. I try not to do red. I've done that accidentally. It's okay. So I'm going to go with that color. I'm going to make my brush small. And we are going to paint the eye. Again, this is a lot of trial and error. Whereas you may have to move it up. a tad bit. So what I'm going to do, put 2 dots right there. Get rid of that. Okay, get rid of that. Like I said, this is rare edit, guys. Because I want to save this color, it's going to go over here and highlight. And we're going to redo this. We said we wanted to move it up here a little bit. So we are going to see how that works because that's kind of matching up to the normal. I may even make it so that it goes up. That I'm digging. Alright, let's try this again. Hit screen. 17-ish. We're gonna hit this little button here, this little guy. Nope, that is perfect. We just gotta lower our brush a little bit. Alright, and then we go to another color. We make the brush smaller. We go to a lighter color. And we just go in the middle. Not like that. And then catch light. We just go like this. And then we do another layer. And I just do black. And I go around the edges of the eye. Meaning like right here. Right here. Alright, then we go back to the screen layer. And we will go to sponge. I just had a brain fart. Where's my sponge? Okay, there's my sponge. We lost my sponge tool. We want it unsaturated, we want it on 50, and we're just gonna go down here and we're gonna saturate this. I'm gonna saturate this. Alright. We're gonna do this side now. With that color in mind, of course. We want lopsided eyes. This eye's gonna be a little bit different because it's on an angle. Normally I do my eyes together on both layers, but since we had to totally remake that eye, that is okay. So we're going to make a new layer. We are going to hit darken, and we're going to darken this part right here. Same concept. We're just going to go in, pick color. You can see it comes up here, it picks a color for you. Good, yeah, they're all black. We're going to make this like 21, 20, whatever. Make sure it's on darken. You're going to come in here and do that. You're going to go here. You can hit screen. Lower this to 17, 15, whatever you feel is comfortable. You don't want to go above those numbers though, unless you're remaking the eye. Alright, for this we are going to we're going to get that again and come back over here, create it. And this one I'm only going to do down here. And we're going to zoom out. That is perfect. Normally I don't get that on the first try. Alright, and then same process. Pick 3 colors, 2 colors. I do 3 colors just because. And make it smaller. Bring up the catch lights. Catch light are weird on these photos. Normally I create my own. We will see how this looks. Not horrible. I have to get rid of some of the eyes still. Let's get rid of this. Close tab. We want this. We want this. We want black. We want to put this back up. We're almost done, guys. That's much better. Alright. So let's see if we were just looking at it that way. It's honestly not horrible. I could make another catch light if needed. You know? Don't want it too big, but you don't want it too small either. And we don't want it black. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just do sponge from here. Make that brighter. We'll make it brighter in a hot moment. We're going to do black around the eye. We're gonna make this brush smaller. Okay. Alrighty. So, next is define and definition. I have to get rid of that circle. I'm just gonna mark this as eye colored in case we ever have to come back into the file. Alright, so definition is pretty easy as well. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the top of the layers. We are going to go fill, 50% gray, overlay, and we're going to start. So I do burn first. People do it the opposite way. I'm just going to go over dark areas. You want to add 15% shadows. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective to you. We're just going to burn. I wouldn't recommend going any higher than 15% for burning, just because then it gets really obnoxious and unrealistic. And as you can see, we're just burning the shadows. As you can see, I went over the eyes too. And we're going to define the muscles. I don't really do anything to the garland. We see more outline, so what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go down here. And we're going to make this 100. And we're just going to there we go. Very picky about that. Clients deserve the world. Alright. So you can see. Not much, but just enough. And then we're gonna do dodge. Dodge. And we're gonna dodge the highlights. Pretty simple. The eye, we do the catch light, and we do the iris. Catch light, iris. The ears, if they're already glowing, they're glowing. They don't need my help. You do this part. This horse was uniquely colored. I've actually never shot a pony before either, so let me get rid of that dot. Again, these are little things. Don't have to do everything. But if I notice it, there's a 50-50 chance that the client will. Alright, so that is our dodge and burn. So next, we are going to add more fuzz in. These are not my brushes. These are another brush from her, J. Klein. Let's see here. I like these. They're simple. There's no learning curve to them. Other than Photoshop being an asshole. Honestly. Photoshop likes to be an asshole. How's that going? Okay. Telling you, always look at your layers. I'm like, why is this not going? It should be going. Okay, so looks like we left some stuff on the ears. Which is okay. Happens to the best of us. Alright, that is much better. I don't like this little part right here though. Okay, so we're gonna go back up here. We're gonna get that brush that I just had. I don't really fuck with the ear fuzz, but this is where my Photoshop doesn't like me. It doesn't like to rotate things, and it likes to do it at random order, which is fine. Sometimes it'll work, but it doesn't sometimes. And I thought I just play around with this. I don't like that. Well, I will be honest with you. Sometimes I just give up, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't need that. I just do it so it looks fancy. You know? Does it really need that? I don't know. I don't know. Like in my head, it's supposed to be darker, but when you zoom out, let's see here. It's gonna try on here. Alright, let's see. We'll leave that on that layer. Again, I'll try on here. I can't express that enough. Eyelashes are a little bit difficult for me because I don't really ever look at a horse like that, you know? Alright, we're just gonna keep this. Like, does that look normal? Like to me, it looks fake. No, I did that. Alright. So, I will show you the final in a hot moment. We have one more thing to do. Views, forgot views. Alright, so that was from that to that. Alright, and then I'm gonna do one. Oops, don't want that. I'm gonna do one more adjustment. Bear with me, because these are actually number related. So 0, 0, 2, 4, 4, and then down here is 8, 9, and then okie dokie.